Hey everyone, welcome to this beginner-friendly tutorial on how to use ClickUp for project management. Whether you're planning to manage a team, solo projects, clients, or personal goals, ClickUp is one of the most powerful and flexible tools out there. But before we begin, let's do a quick overview on what ClickUp is all about. So this is an all-in-one productivity platform where you can plan, track, and collaborate on any type of work. You could do tasks, documents, goals, time tracking, and many more. So it combines the features of multiple tools like Trello, Asana, Notion, and Monday.com into one clean interface. So why do many people love ClickUp? So this is actually providing you a free plan that is very generous. This is also highly customizable, great for remote team, multiple views like List, Kanban, Gantt, and Calendar, and works for both simple and complex workflows. So in this tutorial, I'll walk you through exactly how to get started, set up your workspace, create tasks, manage timelines, and collaborate everything you need to confidently use ClickUp for your projects. And for us to be able to begin, just go onto your local browser in there and search for clickup.com. So this is their official website in here. And for us to be able to begin, if you don't have an account yet, just simply sign up. So you could use your email so that it would be easy, or you could go ahead and try to log in if you have an account already. So if you have an account, so this is what you'll so this is what you should be able to see. So since we're starting onto a new account, it will go ahead and ask us different preferences so that they could adjust ClickUp as per your liking. So we're just gonna use this for personal use. Let's just choose anything here. So if you're just starting out like me, so the last thing that you would see onto the different set of questions they will give you is this one. So what would you like to name your workspace? So this is the first step on our ClickUp tutorial. So we're gonna be setting up your workspace right after you have an account. So we're gonna go ahead and name our first workspace in here. So the workspace is the top level or your organization. So you could name anything onto this. Inside workspace, so to understand the hierarchy, so this is the structure, workspace, then right after spaces. So under workspace, we have space, which is the categories or departments. Under spaces, we have folders, we're in groupings inside spaces, and inside spaces, we have list, which are the specific projects or boards. And lastly, under list, we have task and subtask, which are the different action items. So right after we name our workspace, let's click on finish. Now as you can see, here is a clear view of the dashboard of ClickUp. So you should be able to see here onto the upper left corner the name of your workspace. So we've named our workspace earlier, my workspace. So here you should be able to see the settings and the different people inside that workspace. So if ever you want to create a new one, so you'll just have to simply click on create workspace in here and name your workspace again. So we're not going to do that since we have a workspace already. And the next step that we need to do is creating a project and task. So for us to be able to create a project and task, so remember the hierarchy that we've mentioned earlier. So we're going to start off with space. So we have it here onto the left side. So you should be able to see that here. So we have a team space. So if you want to go ahead and create a folder, list, and documents inside it, so we have that one or the plus icon in here. But since we want to create it from scratch, so we have a plus icon in here to create a new space. So we're going to try creating one by clicking onto that. And then it will go ahead and ask you to name your space. So for example, we're going to go ahead and try to name our space in here sample space. Then there's also an option for you to adjust the icon on it and add in a description. So this is only an optional thing that you could do. So you could also choose to make this private, which is only you and invited members have access to this. So there are different templates that you could use. So we're just gonna skip that and we're gonna click on continue to proceed. So we could define our workflow right after. So we have starter, which are for everyday tasks. We have project management, wherein you could plan, manage, and execute project, marketing teams, and product engineering. And since we're using this for project management, we're gonna use this one, the plan, manage, and execute projects. So this one, we're gonna go ahead and customize our space in here for project management. So it will include default views like list, board, calendar, Gantt, and team. And it will also add in task statuses like most common things that you could see on project managements like to do, planning in progress at risk, or anything like that, or monitoring of your task status, and the click apps, which is the tags, time estimates, priority. So we're just going to create space in here and let's try to see what it will give us. Now, if you've noticed here onto our left side, there are actually two spaces already. So the team space was created earlier automatically, and we've created a new one, which is the sample space. So inside it, we have the list already. So to add a folder or list, so we mentioned that earlier, just click onto this plus arrow here onto its right side. Then you could choose to create a list and a folder. So since we have a list created already in here, so we're just going to leave it as it is, and we're going to add a folder. So we're going to name this sample folder. Then you could also define the status for that and then click on create. And now if you've noticed again, right after creating a folder, it also created a sublist in here or a list inside that sample folder. Now, so inside that list, we could go ahead and create our task already. So you'll just have to go ahead and click on add task here and name this here. So you could go ahead and add something like this. Finish project 1. So this is just a sample task. And then right after, so onto the task, you could actually add descriptions, checklists, attachments, and subtask. So we have that here. So you could set the task type here. So you could have it as a milestone or form response or a meeting note. And we also have it here, a pin template. We also have in here if you want to assign this to a team member. So I'm the only person in here. So if you have a lot of people inside your workspace, then you could go ahead and enter their email here and assign this project to them. So you could also add in a due date for this and priorities, like you could add urgent, high, or normal, or low, so that they could go ahead and prioritize which task to do first. Like for example, we're just gonna leave this as normal, and you could also add in here a tag. So right after that, we have this circle in here, which is to do. You could go ahead and try to adjust the current status of it, like if this is still on planning, in progress, at risk, update required, or on hold. Or if this one is complete, you could go ahead and mark this as complete. So we're just gonna save this, and it should go ahead and show in here on your to-do list. So you could add another one if you want to do so. And since we've created this already, as you can see, you could go ahead and drag this to move this across the list here. And we could just change the status immediately, just like what we did earlier. So we could just go ahead and try to cancel this if that one is not needed. And as you can see, it is gone on our list. So let's get that back again. Now, another thing that we could do in here is the task views and layouts. So ClickUp allows you to view your task in so many ways. So we have list view, which is great for sorting, board view, Kanban style drag and drop. We have the calendar view, which is obviously a calendar type, which you could plan deadlines visually. A Gantt view, which is ideal for timelines and dependencies. Table view like Excel for your task, and mind map view for visual thinkers. So each view can be filtered, grouped, and customized to show exactly what you want. So let's add another one in here, like project 2. So let's add more tasks so that we could go ahead and try to visualize or use the different views. We have project 3 or review projects. So let's save that. And we have that one here. So all of the things that we mentioned are actually here onto the upper part of the list. So we're currently onto the list view already. Let's try to view it via board. So if you click onto that, it will go ahead and load and change the view of it. So as you can see, we have it in here. We have to do planning task. And if you want to move this, you could just go ahead and drag and drop it just like that. So this is just like similar to Trello if you're familiar with that platform. So this is the same thing to that. So you could just drag and drop Kanban style. So let's try to view via calendar. So you could plan the deadlines visually using this, since it would be easier for you to view this via the date So if you actually have a lot of different tasks in there that you want to go ahead and prioritize which one comes first, so you could go ahead and use calendar view for that. So we also have the Gantt view in here. And if you want to explore more views, we have the plus icon in here, and just go ahead and feel free to browse which one you want to use. So we have more like dashboard, activity, whiteboard, workload, and many more. Then right after, we also have in here the automation and recurring task. So click up in here, it also lets you automate simple workflows. So we have the automate icon in here onto the upper part. So onto the upper right corner of the screen. So you'll have to simply click onto that so that you could go ahead and assign an automation for this. So we have different things in here. So we have the AI field where you can add a summary, which summarizes the contents of each task, progress update, task complexity, estimated completion, action item summary, and many more. And here we also have the other automations like auto assign and auto watch. But you could create your own. Just simply click on create automation in here. So to create an automation, we need to have a trigger for that and an action. So for this one, we're gonna go ahead and try to create a trigger first. So if you click under this drop down, you should be able to see all of the different triggers in here that you could use. But we could use this one as default, the one. So if a task or subtask is created, so the action for that. So we're gonna go ahead and try to change the status for that one to in progress or anything like that. So it will change the status and it will go ahead and change the in progress. So we have a detailed overview in here. So when a task or subtask is created, then change status to in progress, then we'll have to create. So as you can see, it will go ahead and show us that there is one active automation already in here. And if you close this, since that one is already active, let's try that one out. So let's create a new task here. So let's head back to list view so it would be easier for us to view this. So let's create a new task like meeting with clients. So if you click on save, so this should be automatically changed onto in progress. So let's try to view this viewport. So as you can see, we should be able to see that one here, meeting with clients. So it was an automation created by us. And if you want to create a recurring task, like for example, review projects, let's simply click onto that. So we're just gonna have to add a due date for this. So this is the due date icon. So we have dates here. So you'll just have to go ahead and add in a set recurring here. And you'll just have to go ahead and toggle recurring forever for that one and just save. So you could choose to do that weekly or just feel free to go ahead and tweak this as per your liking. Now another thing that you could do in here, so we've gone ahead and already tackled this a little bit earlier. So this one is team collaboration. So ClickUp is perfect for team collaboration, and here's how you could try to work together effectively. So we mentioned already earlier that we could go ahead and assign tasks to team members. So if you click onto the task earlier here onto the Kanban view, we could see assignees and we could go ahead and add people in here. So you could invite people via email as well if you want to go ahead and add more people. So you'll just have to click onto the person that you want to assign this task for. And then right after, so if you've noticed here on activity, you could go also and add in a comment. Like for example, if you want to inform them that you're currently working onto this or any update, you could go ahead and type it in here. But for example, if you want to mention someone or your teammate for a perfect team collaboration, you'll just have to go ahead and use the @ icon and then the name of the person that you want to mention. Like for example, I want to mention myself. So you're just gonna do that, something like that. So there are a lot of things also in here that you could go ahead and try to do inside each task. Like you could create custom fields, add in a subtask inside this specific task. So if you want to review projects, like you could also add in different subtasks in here. So you'll just have to name this the same thing like on how you create a task, and also add in some checklists. So if you want this to be organized, you could go ahead and do checklist. And of course, we also have the attachments in here. So you could just simply drop your files in here or click onto this upload button so that you could go ahead and add in the different relevant items or attachments into the specific task. Now going back here onto the dashboard. So another thing that you could do in here for a good project management is to use dashboards to get a high level overview. So you could add widgets for task progress, workload, time logged, upcoming deadlines for that, or you could create milestones to track major deliverables, use goals features to link task completion to larger objectives. So this will go ahead and help you track the progress that you have onto each task so that you'll know what to do next, or just something like that, or to be more organized. So if you click on more here onto the left side, you should be able to see dashboards here. So you could click onto that, and as you can see, it should load up something like this. So you have different dashboard template. So you could have a simple dashboard, a team reporting, time tracking, client portal, and project management. So this one you need to go ahead and upgrade to a different plan here on ClickUp, but there is a free one, which is a simple dashboard. So you'll just have to simply click onto that. You could also choose the location for that. So we have our sample space. So that is the data that we want to go ahead and visualize, and then we'll just have to create a dashboard. Now, as you can see, it is loading all of the different data that we have onto that specific space. So we have 3 unassigned tasks in progress, completed. So if you're the one, or you're the one that is assigning different tasks to different persons, so this one is a very great help. So you should be able to see in here the different things that are completed already, or the things that needs to be prioritized, or if there are queues that needed to be done. So you should be able to see it here. So this is a great step onto doing a better project management. Now, bonus tips and best practices here on ClickUp. You could try to use more templates here. So templates will gonna be saving you time by reusing our task structures. So if you've noticed earlier, right after we've created our space, so you could go ahead and just create or use a template by there. So you could also color code your task or list for visual clarity. So it would be easier for you to go ahead and locate them. As you can see here are on our in progress, this one's color blue and orange at brisk. So you could go ahead and try to edit this and try to change the color so that it should be able to give you a clear view on what to do. So you could also integrate with tools like Google Drive, Slack, Zoom, and Zapier, which you could see here under view. So if you click onto this and scroll down more further, you should be able to see different things that you could embed in here. So you have Google Docs, Google Maps, Figma, Google Sheets, Google Calendar, and YouTube. Also, there is a mobile app for this, which you could go ahead and install onto your mobile phones to manage work on the go. So that one is very, very helpful, since if you want to go ahead and run an errand or something like that, you could go ahead and manage or still get a glimpse on what needs to be done. So you should be able to receive notifications from your phone. You could also bookmark frequent views with favorite for quick access. So those are just basically the basics here on using ClickUp as a project management tool. So if you've noticed, there are still a lot of buttons in here that you could go ahead and try to see and try to use for your project management. So feel free to sign up for an account here on ClickUp and go ahead and discover it yourself. So if ever you want to go ahead and use ClickUp for more things or more tools, so they could offer more for you. So we're just using the free one. So you could go ahead and click on upgrade in here, and as you can see, these are the different plans that they offer. So this one is for yearly. We also have monthly in here. So the popular one is business. So this is going to be $12 per month, and we also have unlimited in here, business plus, enterprise, and you should be able to go ahead and compare here the different things or features that they offer. So just feel free to go ahead and try to see which one is actually suitable onto the type of work that you're currently doing. So just feel free to go ahead and browse here, and you could go ahead and click on upgrade if ever you want to go ahead and uplift Your ClickUp experience. That is basically it, a full walkthrough on how to use ClickUp for project management. So, whether you're a freelancer, a student, a team leader, or business owner, this tool can seriously boost your productivity. So, your next step in here is to explore views that fit your workflow. You can also try setting up a small real project today and invite your team and start collaborating. ClickUp serves as an all in one productivity powerhouse. From task management and team collaboration to advanced reporting and automation, ClickUp can transform the way you manage your projects and workflow. The best part, it is highly customizable, so no matter what type of work you're doing, freelancing, running a team, managing a business, or personal project, this adapts to fit your needs. So give it a try today, explore its features, and see how much more efficient your work can become. And if you think that this tutorial has been helpful to you, then don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and also check out the links in the description for some helpful bonuses, tools, and extra resources we share with our viewers. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, stay productive, stay organized, and let ClickUp help you get there.